Autobots, transform! Hey, Autobot!
Who speaks to me?
What is up, my Transformers family? Welcome back to George Reviews. I'm the 80s Transformers fan, and today we'll be taking a look at Autobot Devcon. He is from the Transformers Legacy Evolution line. He's a deluxe class figure. He's in an older style packaging because this is actually a reissue or re-release, whatever you want to call it. I think originally he was an Amazon exclusive, and I missed out on that. I never saw him. He was always sold out. I didn't run across him, and I was never going to play aftermarket prices. If a figure drops in 2025 and I can't find it, I'm not paying markup prices in 2025, 2026. I'm just going to let it go. And a lot of people complain about scalpers. It's you that are buying these things from scalpers and complain. I'm going to let it go and let it ride. Now, I will pay markup prices for a figure that came out 5-6 years ago and I wasn't collecting the line then and I wanted to get some older guys. Then I would do it. But now, if it came out and I was looking every day and missed it, no way. But anyway, here's the older style packaging for this figure. You can tell because it's windowless. They tried to go windowless and claimed it was environmental friendly, but they were just trying to save some money on plastic because the plastic window does cost money and add to the price of the figure. But anyway, we weren't saving money on the price of the figure when they left out the window. But Devcon, you can see them in the package in there. It's tied down a little bit. Up here we had the QR code with a little bit of his technical readout right here. You have to scan it with your phone, go online, check it out. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, we got Generations, Takar, Tomy right there, Hasbro down here. Side panel, we have, this is what was going on at the time in the Evolution line. Back of the package, we have the product shot, 13 steps. We are loving that. Autobot Devcon. We don't even get no bio. If you don't know, if you weren't in on the Generation 1 cartoon, you don't know this guy was a one-off on the cartoon. It was so cool seeing another Autobot that wasn't part of the main cast, and now we finally have a figure for him. Side packaging, more artwork, and since we have the figure, we're going to cut this guy out of the box and take a look. I've waited years to get my hands on this guy. I know a few years back, or more than a few years back, third parties tried to customize this guy out of like Scourge's body or whatever. Nothing further in the box. Devcon tied down. We got accessories back here. Don't choke on the figure. And we got a large instruction booklet for 19 steps. This thing is pretty good. Pretty big. And these are all the things you need to know about Devcon and this transformation. I got too much light on that for you guys. But we're not going to use the instructions. We shouldn't need it on this channel. Let's get Devcon out and take a look. It's been a long time coming. And I'm probably going to stand him next to the Generation 1 toys that I have. Because we should have got him a long time ago. But they refused to make anything that was not already stuck into the Diaclone Microman line. It looks very, very simple. And we get the tissue paper. It's so old it's not even done in like the more modern Autobot logos all over the paper. We get some paint coming off on my paper. We get the boosters and his gun. So let's get started. Alright, let's get started. Bring Devcon closer to the cameras. Take a look at his face. And his face looks dead spot on. He is so cartoon accurate. He has blue painted eyes, silver face, well molded in head, missile on top of the head. And speaking of missile on top of the head, a lot of people back in the day would take a Generation 1 Scourge and turn him into Devcon because he has a missile on his head. And the only other Devcon I know of is the official Devcon is the Bicon release. It was a repaint of another figure of Scourge. I can't remember what toy line. I didn't collect that toy line, whatever it was. But it's a Transformer toy line. I can put it on the screen. Here it is. Here we go. And like again, it wasn't for me. It wasn't cartoon accurate enough. But get that out of here. Back to this guy. He is cartoon accurate through and through. Autobot logo on his chest. We get a little bit of silver here. We get some molded in detail. We get the abs section right here, painted silver with some red in there. Continue on with the blue plastic. There is some silver plastic in here, but they use some silver paint in some areas, which it seemed like they could have used the plastic. I guess this is one piece, and it's connected to the blue, and that's why we get the silver and the blue, but it doesn't match. But continuing on to his legs, and then down here we get the red paint and the plastic feet that are casted in red plastic with some hollowing in between the legs, but I guess it's a deluxe class figure. Nice molded in detail. Other than the hollowing, which is always between the legs on these figures, he's pretty solid. Looks good front and back. A little bit of kibble back there, but you know, it's transformation parts. Looks pretty cool. Let's check out Devcon's articulation. And he can barely look down and nothing up. Get a little bit of side to side and 360. I guess if you're doing some photography, you get some different expressions out of them. Arms, get the T-pose. Can't go any further than that. 360 at that shoulder. We get an elbow swivel, no bicep swivel to speak of. And this is all we get out of the elbow bend. 45 degrees. The forearm's nicely molded. He has nicely molded fingers. A little bit of detail. And the port for the gun. The fingers, the hand does not rotate, which is kind of disappointing, actually. And his waist section, we get a full 360 despite the back kibble. No type of ab crunch on these guys. Now the legs, it's going to be fantastic. They excel at the leg articulation, the front to back, and the splits. Does he have thigh swivel? Well, he swivels a little bit at the upper thigh. I was expecting a cut, but there is no cut. And knee bend. With this big clunky leg, that doesn't leave room for a lot of articulation. That's as high as it gets. And it's kind of weak. And as far as his feet, they will rock so he can get a wider stance on the ground, which is okay. But his articulation is a little bit limited. He's a little bit older and a deluxe class figure, but you know, what can you do? He comes with one gun and you can put it into his hand. And he can... Decepticons, you can't get away. And on a cartoon, it was mounted on his forearm and they have a port for that. A few years ago, the whole port thing was everything. And he can rotate his arm and get his little mini Megatron on. But yeah, this thing is dead on cartoon accurate. This is what I've been waiting for years. And I'm wondering if he's going to fit in with my Generation 1 guys. And also, you could take the gun. Let's get it back into his hand. And the boosters that he comes with that are parts formers. You can put the boosters into the gun and create a mega blaster. Boom, boom, boom. Looks pretty cool. But the only thing is, like, okay, these are blue plastic painted red, which actually sucks because they used red plastic for his freaking feet. And because they painted it, they didn't paint the hollowing on the inside, Hasbro, you cheap bastards. And you can just see the blue. And now, let me refer back to the box art where it's all painted or either all plastic. You cheap bastards, Hasbro. This actually kind of ruins the whole plug-in feature, just seeing the blue like right down the middle. Like, and if they had just casted the plastic in the same red plastic, you already have it. You're putting it in the figure. Like, Hasbro, do better. Figure looks great though. Okay, now they say Devcon is a heavy retool of Blur, and like, I don't see it. I mean, they have the same thighs. The crotch area is definitely similar, but like that's redone. And then he has like a transformation compartment here that isn't over here. They don't share the arms. They don't share the fists. Like, they kind of share the little backpack thing and maybe the hinge. Maybe, but like thighs, I couldn't call this a heavy retool when I don't see, like, this is remade. So, don't agree with the heavy retool, even if Hasbro said it. It doesn't look heavily retooled. What do you guys think? All right, let's move on to the transformation. See this vehicle more. I remember watching the cartoon as a kid. And like, I knew Devcon was a one-off dude. You weren't going to see him again. And I was betting my ass that he didn't have a vehicle transform. And then at the end of the episode, and he told Slizardo to come go with him. And then he transformed. I was blown away. I thought he was going to be like Alpha Trion and we were just going to never see the guy transform. I was shocked. I was like, whoa. And now we got it here. So let's do it. I'm going to take his arms, rotate him around and get these boosters out. Come over to the other side and repeat the beat. Then we're going to take the entire back portion and bring it over his head. and close it down. And I guess it doesn't snap, but that's it. Take these feet, pull them out, open up the leg hinge, and rotate. Maybe I shouldn't have did the arms. Rotate the feet up. Tap it together. Come around to the bottom and close these up. There are some tabs right here and some ports for the feet to go into. And we take the arms, there's some tabs and some ports. We rotate the arms around to get them into the tabs like this. And so this is it. I mean, it wasn't that spectacular on the cartoon at all, but I was still shocked to see it, and here it is. I think this is meant to be the missile that was on his head, and he transformed, and somehow it's up there now or whatever. But this is his vehicle shuttle transport mode or whatever he was. And bam, like let's all right, well first let's take a look at it. He has molding and detailing all over it. Looks pretty good. Some stripes. I believe this was the cockpit, or maybe this was the cockpit, and it's not painted. This Slizardo got into. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Let me get a clip out here and let's see. Okay, that clip didn't help. I guess this is the compartment that Slizardo got in, but it was kind of like this. And then, yeah, this was it, because on the clip, there was an Autobot logo right here. This is omitted from the toy. They got the indentation for it. They like, look, just go to Repro Labels or Toy Hacks and fill it in, because that's what they do. I mean, it honestly looked like they just skimped on it. You get out of here. Like, you have to be shitting me that they left that out. But speaking of left out, I got to get the missiles out of here. Like this. And like this. And Slizardo, let's roll. Yeah, I would thought these wings would stick out just a little bit more. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But yeah, from the back, this is it. I don't see any landing gear. But again, it looks cool, and I waited 40 years for this thing, at least 40. It kind of looks like the Great Space Coaster. Get on board. Lastly, you can take his blaster and put it underneath the front of the jet. He has a few ports. You can put it in a few different places. We're going to put it right here. And let's do it. And if you have blast effects from your other Transformers, they work perfectly well with your Devcon. They don't fit on this front missile or whatever, because it's like it's super large, but they actually go right here when you add the gun. And all right, now I'm going to bring out Transformers 1986 Studio Series Blur and compare them. It's been so long since I transformed this guy. I think this is right. I believe this is right. But anyway, he's supposed to be a heavy retool. I see the shape. But when I tell you, when I transformed it, it was nothing alike. Maybe the feet, the way the feet come out, the feet are identical. I didn't even peep that out. But the feet are identical, and this little piece right here. And then they have like some similarities, but I mean, you might as well just call this a different figure instead of bothering with the heavy retool thing. But here they are, side by side. And from that same episode, here's Generation 1 Astrotrain. These were two fellow mass shifters, even though I don't think he shifted as big as Astrotrain does. Jumping back into robot mode, and I realized even though these boosters come off, they don't have to. Like, he doesn't have to be a parts former. You can actually leave them on. And bam! Let's roll into the size up and a rundown. Even though we already did it, back again is Blur. Here are our fellow Studio Series Orion Pax and Alphatron, throwing back to the Cybertron days. I wonder if Devcon, story-wise, knows that Orion Pax went on to become Optimus Prime at the point of the episode that he was actually in. I know it's kind of a lot to think about, but, you know, I wonder those type of things. By the way, they have a more recent Alphatron out, and this is not it. Here's a shot of Devcon with more modernized Transformers. I think they all Studio Series from the one-off episode he was in. Now to see how well he plays with your Generation 1 Transformers, and it looks great to me. He fits right into the Generation 1, except for he's very well articulated. Now for the greatest test, it is the cartoon model to see how he sizes up, and he looks pretty good. We don't have like the little dark blue in the shoulders that we have over here, but still looks good. And the cannon could be a little bit, I mean, if we trying to be perfect, the cannon could be a little bit higher up on the arm, like over here. And we don't get the little red dot, but we get the little red dots on the sides of the chest that are over here as well. I mean, this is pretty darn good. My final thoughts and commentary. I mean, he's spot on. I waited years for this. He wasn't a main character, and I know he's not for everybody, but I absolutely love it. I really wanted him. And by the way, you can turn the boosters into a rocket pack back here if you wanted to. I love it. The only thing he didn't live up to really, as with the cartoon deco, these are supposed to be painted gray on the sides of his head, and they didn't do that. That's probably because he's the deluxe class figure, and I can forgive that, but this is what I wanted when I was a kid, and I thought they would never get around to doing this damn thing. But here he is. I love it. I see him all the time at Target and Walmart. If you're at all interested in this video, pique your curiosity, by all means, I think you should pick him up. Walmart, Target, Meijer. And again, this is his second release. The first one, I believe, was an Amazon exclusive, but he is back out there if you were like me and you missed it the first time. So I highly recommend it from the 80s Transformers fan. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. You've just watched the review where every toy has a story.
Want to hear good part of story?
Good part, Cup. Tell Swoop good part.
My name is Devcon.
Autobots, transform.